All right, hello
Okay, I
everyone.
think we're here.
Yep, we're
Hi.
here. My name is Tyler 2022, and right beside me is Plywood. He's gonna be helping with some of the commentary.
I'm not actually right beside him because,
In the
we
Discord
have
call, we're beside each other, but yeah,
next to each other virtually, but
yeah,
not next to each other physically.
unfortunately.
So
But
maintain that distance.
social distancing. So
Yep.
yeah, so this can be Twin Snakes, which this has been run at certain marathons before, but this particular category has never really been ran before at a marathon, to my knowledge. And this is going to be collecting all the dog tags on the highest difficulty. And actually, Plywood here helps a lot with the routing amongst other people in the community. But like, he actually made a full-on guide for I think it was extreme, very easy, and normal, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yep.
So
Looked at those three difficulties. There's also easy and hard, but uh, a lot of I'd say some of the coolest strats are here on extreme, and I think the chat will agree because there is some pretty cool stuff coming up in this run, if I do say so myself.
yeah. So for the radar, we're gonna actually be doing Type 2. You would want to normally like have that turned off, but for dog tags it's really helpful for some other strategies to like see where their vision cone will be at. And there's going to be a small cutscene that we have to skip. It loses 8 seconds, and we're going to be playing on game over if discovered, assuming that we're going to be going for the big boss rank, which we need to have that on. And game is going to start, and we're going to start the timer here in 3 2 1.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes. This is the remake of the original Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. This is a GameCube exclusive game. Tyler is running on a GameCube. Uh, and this is the extreme difficulty going for Big Boss rank and all the dog tags. Now, Tyler, why don't you explain what exactly a dog tag is and how to get it?
So the dog tags is, I think it's either one of the developers or they ran a contest, because this is borrowed from Metal Gear Solid 2, and essentially you have to go up to a guard and then you have to shake him down, and then the first thing that they'll drop will be a dog tag. And in MGS2, there was actually two different kinds of guards. There was the like guards that like will just drop immediately, and then there's some where like you have to like shoot in the air to like give a little like warning shot. But in this game, they were kind of added in late, so there's no tough guys. But I believe altogether there's about 38 tags on Extreme, something like that. 37, 38
Yep.
tags. So
And we'll be collecting them throughout the game. Now, the X factor in all this, since we're going for Big Boss rank and that requires game over if discovered, is we have to be very careful in how we approach guards and how we dispatch of them, because if they ever spot us, that's an automatic game over. And we don't want any alerts or continues to get that Big Boss rank. So it's an added element of challenge to this run, on top of just dealing with these guards that have really good vision and hearing.
but on the bright side, though, resets as far as like retrying the rooms over again are quite faster because of game over if discovered turned on. So if something goes bad, then we can at least reset the room again, because we'll probably get a game over pretty quickly. And lockers are here, which aren't in the original. That's taken from MGS2, and we kind of hide it in the locker. Nothing to really do here, so we're just gonna go on the elevator, wait for that guy to walk by, and be on our way. And this first room here is pretty involved. This is probably like one of the first challenges in the run, which is the very first screen, which normally isn't. Normally, like this screen in like any percent is fairly straightforward, and can be a little tricky, but not too bad. But on dog tags, you have to bait over a couple of guards, and you have to walk a very certain way in order to manipulate their walk pattern.
Yeah, so the issue is that we don't actually have the M9 yet, and that tranquilizes guards. So all we can do is go into the truck to pick up the SOCOM, but because to get Big Boss rank, we don't want to kill anyone. We can't actually fire the gun. We're just going to use it to hold guards up, and then we're going to groin punch them to knock them out. So this is a very tricky room. Tyler's going to lure the guard over on the helipad to mess up with the cycle, and then walk on a noisy floor to bring this guard down, and then wait for him to get in position to hold him up. And this is the first guard we're going to get for his tag. And then stand in a certain spot to lure the guard from the balcony down. and then the other guard will notice us, start going over, and they'll both see the body on the floor. That'll take a precedent, and then we hold them both up.
Whoa. Okay. It's fine, just have to bump into him.
Yeah, you got to be careful because if you wait too long without holding them up, or without holding the gun up, they'll slowly bring their hands down, and if their hands go all the way down, that's a game over, because they will have spotted you, quote unquote. They have already spotted us, but because they can't actually attack us or call in for help, it's not a game over, if that makes sense.
So the reason why you're going to be seeing me doing this mass unequip is because this is actually faster to actually move through the vents, and this is borrowed from the MGS2 engine, and we're going to be doing this quite a bit compared to MGS2. I believe in the MGS2 run we don't even use it at all, because we're not really crawling that much, so this isn't a very widely used mechanic in MGS2, but in Twin Snakes we are crawling quite a bit, because we have to go through 2 vents, and then we have to crawl like 4 more times in the cave before Wolf 1, I believe, so we'll be using this quite a bit, but this is faster to do this, but for dog tag it doesn't matter as much, but on 80% you pretty much need to do this if you want a really fast cycle here. But coming up here, we're just going to be essentially waiting for this guard because he's going to be walking over. You have to just slowly walk on these noisy surfaces. Whoop. Okay. He's going to give us the tag, bump into him, and then I'm going to get this guy's tag.
Yeah, so when you bump into a guard, let's say you walk through the front of him, he'll be bumped towards wherever he's facing. If you bump into his back, he'll move towards wherever his back is facing. So that's a small thing, but you can actually use that for certain strategies in this run by bumping into them. It also keeps them occupied. So why are you wasting all that ammo, Tyler? That seems
Pretty wasteful.
goofy.
Yeah, so for the tanky fight, there's a very weird, intricate strategy that was found, say, like a year ago now at this point, where we have to throw in magazines to the, like, gunner hole, and doing that makes the game think that we threw in a like, grenade, and then we can do a headshot, and it actually does a max damage shot, whereas if we were to just do it, you know, without anything there, it would be much less damage. And I don't know how it got figured out, but one of the runner's friends...
The magic of JMC.
Yeah, one of
JMC found it.
Yeah.
You can throw anything into the hole, and even chaff grenades or regular grenades, and then if you do an M9 shot, it's a crit shot, when it really shouldn't be like a full-on crit shot, because they didn't program it super well to say, like, it's just, oh, if something lands in the hole, then therefore it's a full damage shot, rather than if stun grenade lands in hole, it's a full damage. So tank fight is really complicated. It's by far the hardest fight in this game. I think you would agree on that. On extreme, it's really, really tricky. But we're not there yet. Right now, we're going into the guard encounter with Meryl here.
Now, for collecting all the dog tags, we don't actually get anything in this game because it was added in quite late. But in MGS2, that's how you get all the stealth, camouflage, and like the bandana. But in this game, you don't really get anything. But
just a sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, all you really get.
Nice. So cool little thing there, found by Tromboncino, is a instant heart shot on the first guard that comes in, which makes the first wave of guards really easy. So we're hoping that Meryl is successful here, because sometimes she shoots well, sometimes she doesn't. And take note that at max you only have 16 bullets in the M9, which is how they balance out the M9 on extreme. They give you very little ammo. So ammo management is really, really important on this difficulty.
But on dog tags, we actually have a bit more safety because we're actually going to a little secret room. Pick up the SOCOM ammo and waste some more shots in order to try and get more magazines. But yeah, so normally going to the like heliport, we would have 2 stun grenades already from going to the left-hand side, but since we went to the right-hand side to get all those dog tags, we're gonna have to do a small detour to go to this secret room coming up and pick up some ammo in there, along with stun grenades. That's why you see me wasting my like M9 bullets as well, because I'll be picking up some ammo in there.
Yeah, in a way, this makes the tank easier because we need to pick up supplies in the northwest room. On the regular run for Extreme, you would ideally not do this, but it's worthwhile doing in this situation for all dog tags.
Oops. Now we have the last 3 C4 for these next 3 walls here. Let's play a little bit safe just because I've messed this up quite a bit, because that's a different angle that I'm used to going. So
yeah, you can drop the C4 and then lean up against the wall rather than moving out of the way like Tyler did, but if you're not careful, you can lose a lot of HP that way. And since it's a marathon run, we don't really want to have to do unnecessary risk.
And the easiest boss fight in the game right here. The MG2 engine really broke this fight. It's like the first thing that like people point out. Oh. Okay, that was maybe a little bit too far to the right, but that's okay. That's why we got those extra bullets, just in case something like that happened.
Yep.
On Extreme, on like 80%, I would have had to grab the ammo in the fight, which is strategically placed by the wire where you would be blowing up Bakers, so really hard to actually get to it. Now I have a bunch of codec sequences, and I'm gonna be calling Meryl, which
we
is
got the next set of tags too.
Yes, well, 1 tag, but
1 tag. Yeah, so the armory is going to be filled with guards, but we're only going to take 1 guard out of the handful that spawn. We're going to pick up the one that is right by the doors since it's very convenient, and then we'll pick up the other ones later because we have to return to the armory later.
Yeah, one guy spawns in for some reason, like, he's not here earlier, but
he
later
spawns
on...
in to guard the PSG-1.
Yeah, which we actually won't be getting. Spoilers.
Yeah, we don't need it.
Freeze. Don't kill me.
And
Very scared of the M9.
You gotta be careful with this guard, because if you run straight right when you exit, you'll get spotted because he's looking to his left. So he'll see you out of his periphery, and that's it. Game over. So you have to go a little bit down first.
Meryl's gonna be opening up the door. And a little cutscene's gonna be playing. We're gonna skip it. And do a precise roll here. Again, change weapons to crawl a little bit faster. And then, taking from MGS2, they actually have the like IR sensors here, so a bit different than having to deal with the lasers. And we had shot those 3, but the next time that we're gonna be coming back here right for torture, those are all gonna be, disabled. So, tank fight, gonna need chaff grenade and stuns, and I'll let Plywood explain the intricacies of this fight, just because this fight is very complex and I don't even understand the whole fight fully, to be completely honest.
I mean, and we're not going to be able to cover this whole thing. It is a real hassle to learn on Extreme, but basically the whole deal is that we're going to be doing some timing here by taking the claymore damage and then cooking the grenade when the camera angle changes, and then go into a certain spot to throw the stun grenade into the hole, and then switch to the magazine. Again, you got to time it just right, and then move back over here by this pillar. There's a certain area you want to stand by this pillar and get that crit shot that we were mentioning earlier, and then just kind of throw magazines, hoping they roll into the hole. They could still roll into the hole, by the way. They're like stuck there. And then approach and try to throw a stunning grenade. Nice. That was really good. And then this is just, once you see the explosion, you throw another stun. Oh gosh, that
was awkward.
That's actually good. Because
okay.
you missed, so.
But unfortunately, he's starting to move, so
Yeah, now we're in a
Weird situation. I'm just gonna grab this ammo
Funnel.
here.
funnel backup situations, but this is not bad.
Yeah.
Because you just lock on with B and get a third-person shot, and that's the fight. That actually went pretty dang well, so well done.
Yeah, except
team.
for, like, the weird magazine getting in there at the last second, but... So now the book. We're gonna be using this in Disc 2, but for now, I'm using it right now to actually clip through here. Another thing taken from MGS2, but normally we would use chaps there, but because we're having to actually use the book anyway, the book's a faster menu, so just go right there to the book.
Yeah, so what Tyler's doing, he's going crouched against the wall, moving in the opposite direction, then spamming right trigger, and spamming the item, or rather the weapon, even though the weapon is a book. It's not really a weapon, but it's the weapon slot. It will push you in the opposite direction and go through the door. This saves about 7 seconds since we skip a codec, and it improves the guard route. And Tyler's going to pick up this guard right now in the office, so he doesn't have to do it later.
There's another guy, but he's in the bathroom. We'll be getting that later on whenever we're going to be fighting Wolf. And then switching to the Nikita here, we're going to be needing this for the electric floor room.
That's part of the interesting bit of routing for dog tags, is you can choose to take certain guards earlier or later, since we will be revisiting certain rooms multiple times in Disc 1. Once we get to Disc 2, though, it's a straight shot. But
Yeah, there's not a lot of tags on Disc 2, aside from like a couple rooms. Like, the majority of them are on Disc 1. And that's excluding bosses, which, yes, bosses do have dog tags, and you have to pick up their knocked out bodies to actually get their dog tags. And that's going to be for, I think, Mantis, Wolf 2, Bulk and Raven after he's gone, and then Liquid for the fist fight? Yeah.
Yep.
So, all those bosses have dog tags. Most of them, we could just pick up their body to just, you know, get the dog tag. But some, like with Liquid, you have to knock him off of Metal Gear Rex, and then he will actually drop the dog tag.
That's right. But Ninja here, he doesn't have a dog tag, but this fight is quite different from the fight in MGS1 as far as the speedrun goes, because we're going to keep the Ninja in a loop at the start here. The AI for Ninja, he wants you to do 2 consecutive melee attacks, but if you shoot, his AI is like, no, I want you to do 2 consecutive melee attacks, so it resets the counter. So we can keep him stuck in the first phase here. And what this allows us to do is skip the other phases of the fight and skip a bunch of dialogue that normally would be unskippable, which is great. However, this fight is pretty awkward to do, because you need to be really close to him, but not so close that you bump into him when you try to attack.
So you saw me
Tyler's
miss
doing a
the...
pretty good job.
Yeah. So with that Nikita switch in, with the kick, that actually does more damage, and it will treat it as if you are doing a like full Nikita whack. So you saw me miss some of those because I was like, I wasn't trying to be too close to him to where he would knock me down, but I was trying to be close enough to where, you know, I could actually hit him. Then luckily...
There's a very narrow sweet spot to it.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a nice roll, though. So yeah, the whole thing with that fight, outside of the loop, just as Tyler was saying, is that you want to have a gun out, because if you punch someone with the pistol, it does more damage. And then if you switch to the Nikita right before you kick, then the kick acts as the power of a Nikita whack. So you do a lot of damage really quickly. The problem is that it takes some practice and getting used to the timing of the switching. So.
And like, plus, that's not even the fastest way. You could do a punch into a roll, which is a bit more precise, but is a little bit faster, but riskier. So it's like I just go for the more consistent punch kick method.
Yeah, and the difference between them isn't too big. It's like a second or so.
And for those that don't know, there's some Mario and Yoshi right there. You want to refill your like HP, you can go and shoot them, but I think you get your like HP refilled anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But
It's a cute little
Yeah.
Easter egg. There's also a GameCube in
Oh yeah, I should have shown that off too.
Otacon's lab instead of a PlayStation. Oh yeah, one little thing about rolling, so if you just like raw roll down a hallway, you will lose time. But if you roll into like a loading trigger, a cutscene trigger,
Oh.
it's the recovery of the roll that loses you time. So that's why you'll see Tyler roll into doors and like cutscene triggers and that sort of thing. It saves frames. We're gonna ignore that he went to the first floor. We're going to the basement one, the B1, and we're gonna pick up Johnny's tag, which is on Meryl's person since she took Johnny's gear. And Tyler's gonna do a safe strat here. He's gonna just do double punches to knock her out. Man,
Push her
she's
in the
going
elevator.
far.
Yeah. Thought she'd be knocked out by then. Just stand behind her
Meryl,
so that
you're
way she
gonna
can
go
see
far.
me. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Okay.
There we go.
You would
Yeah,
rather
that's
be like
the
punching
only
her.
opportunity you get
Yeah.
to pick up that tag.
And you'd rather be like punching her than the groin, but it's a bit tricky, so I was trying to experiment, like, do I like choke her, but then that was also kind of weird, so just doing those like double punches was the best thing to do, but my whole plan was like to not have her go that far, and I just had a bad angle, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go with this, see how far this goes, and she went all the way in the elevator, so that was pretty funny.
She went far.
Yeah.
She went far, alright. Alright, so we're doing Mantis now, and this fight is pretty dang tricky on Extreme because the way this works is you can fire in first person, as you've probably already noticed, but Mantis will take over your vision if you wait too long in first person. And on Extreme, that happens within like a half a second or so. He'll take over your vision, so you have to be really quick with your shots here. And we also do a setup. There's various setups for this fight, but we do a setup here to try to manipulate where he goes and where he spawns. This is the couch setup, which I found. You're gonna see that Tyler's gonna punch Mantis, and unfortunately the setup failed, but that's okay. It's really hard. This fight is really tough. So yeah, Tyler did a punch on Mantis, and that is so he can set up the damage values in a certain way for Meryl. Meryl's gonna get possessed here, and doing one punch and a series of crit shots should make her fall over immediately. Yep, and that's the Meryl possession skip.
I was gonna do a quick headshot here, or else she's gonna die, so pretty easy though. It has to have to hold Z, A, and both the triggers, and pretty much guarantees it.
Z, L, R, A all at the same time, and then you do a quick shot on Mantis's dome here. Also, Mantis's leg is a crit point just like his head. That's why we've been aiming at his leg. And then Tyler's going to pick up the ammo in the corner that's just for ammo purposes going into the rest of disc 1. Not bad. Got through it. Don't forget the tag.
Yep. I've done that a couple times, so yeah, so like some of these tags you need to get, or else it'll disappear, so I get his dog tag.
You have to pick him up now. His body disappears even if you like come back into this room.
Yeah, immediately, just mysteriously goes somewhere.
He's
I don't
gone.
know. Yeah, he's just gone. Now I have to deal with the dogs, which, if you thought the Metal Gear Solid 1 dogs were bad, oof. You know nothing about the Twin Snakes dogs. They are ruthless. They will ragdoll towards you, and they will just... Okay, I just wanted to roll into them just for safety.
Insane damage on Extreme.
Okay, that was close.
They do insane damage. Like, I think it's like 4 or 5 hits and you're dead from the dogs, and that could actually happen to you if you're not careful. Because they can actually, like, stun lock you.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
If they get the right attack cycle between the two dogs, like, you're gonna feel it. It's really bad.
walk around.
So in the
some
original
rooms.
game, you could run straight forward through the minefield, but you can't do that in Twin Snakes,
Unfortunately.
fortunately. Yeah. It's always the funniest party trick. Or one of them in this game, in the original.
So since it's taken from the MG2 engine, and since we have the M9, you know, there's also the PSG-1T, which is what we're going to be using, and thankfully it's actually fairly close by, so we don't have to go all the way back to the armory. We can just stay here in the nuke building. I'm gonna roll over this dog.
Yeah, that cuts a few minutes from this run, along with the fact that a lot of unskippable cutscenes from the original game are skippable in this game. Like, they're part of the larger cutscenes, so like in this sequence there's supposed to be several, probably like around 90 seconds worth of unskippable cutscenes after you defeat Mantis in the caves and then the minefield, but in Twin Snakes they're like, let's actually just make those skippable cutscenes. It's nice. So yeah, a lot of quality of life changes, and that's part of the reason why Twin Snakes is such a fun game to run in comparison to the original.
Yeah, less
Not to say
backtracking,
the
more
original
quality of
isn't
life
fun, but-
stuff. But there is the trade-off that some people may not like the GameCube controller, and it does have its weird oddities. There's actually a
It's a
built-in
quirky game.
yeah. There's actually a slight built-in dead zone because the game wasn't super well optimized, so you'll see me get some dead zones, and that could be from the game, it could be from my controller, probably a combination of both. Got that little tag there in the bathroom. Also need to make sure to grab ammo, because we're going to be using that for the Wolf 2 fight and for Vulcan Raven. Very important. And then round 2 of the dogs, although we're going to be taking a more rounded path, and we're going to actually be dodging the first dog, but the second dog, it's where I could probably get knocked down. I'm hoping I don't get knocked down, but anything could happen. Grab some ammo here, then there's another little pack over here. Oh, looks like
I
I'm
just want to
okay.
mention again that these dogs do insane damage. They do more damage than Wolf, which is really weird.
Yeah, the balancing is strange, as you'll see here, because I'll probably get hit at least once. Oh,
So both Wolf fights are random because we can't really... She doesn't move predictably. She doesn't always move the same way each time, but we try to set up our aim such that we can get the best results every time. So as you see, Tyler's like aiming just below the rail, and that's where her head lands when she kneels down to take a shot, stuff like that. So, and the aiming in this game's a bit squirrely. Like it's very sensitive, so you have to know how much to adjust on the GameCube controller.
I grab
The
the ammo
sniping
here.
in
'cause I
general
miss
in
a
this
lot.
engine is kind of weird.
Wasn't the best fight because I was missing quite a bit, so I grabbed that little backup ammo back there. I was probably gonna pick it up anyway, but I mean, just more in such a now because I don't have a lot of shots.
It's all good. This run is chugging along pretty smoothly, I'd say.
I'll go into the torture sequence where we would normally choose, you know, want to save Meryl or to save Otacon. Obviously, the Otacon route is faster, so we're gonna just submit to the torture immediately.
Yeah, you save several minutes, like about 3-ish minutes or so on Twin Snakes from not saving Meryl. No,
And-
that's not correct. Kojima produced this game. This was a joint effort between the Konami Studios and Silicon Knights. Some people think that this was entirely Silicon Knights. That's very much incorrect. It was a joint effort.
Saving Meryl is canon. Well, for the speedrun canon, not so much.
For speed canon.
Speed canon is not Meryl ending. But I
Not
can do the
Meryl
Meryl
ending.
ending, although, funny enough, I think it was about a year or like 2 ago where I tried to submit this to GDQ, and I tried to like show off that I could do the like Meryl torture, and my master technique is very peculiar, and the game thinks that I'm actually using turbo because I'm, mashing very fast, and I have a little clip of it somewhere, but yeah,
That witch.
like, the game's, like, turbo detection is very
Shut up in there, will ya?
weird, although
Shut up in there, will ya?
the original, I believe, like, they say that, like, they'll know, but they don't actually do anything, right? But in this game...
It depends. It depends on the frequency of the presses.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, certain frequency
Shut up in there,
of
will ya?
turbos the game will detect, but not all of them. Because I remember having a turbo back in the day for MGS1, and it wouldn't detect it.
Shut up
So,
in there, will ya?
Yeah.
but
Shut up in there, will ya?
we're knocking here to make sure Johnny doesn't sneeze because Johnny sneezing is slower than him
Shut up
yelling
in
at
there,
us.
will ya?
So
Shut up in there, will ya?
that's what's up. And coming up is a pretty cool little sequence break, though we won't really see the fruits of the sequence break for several minutes. Tyler is going to break the cutscene flags and make the game think that we picked up our gear, but we didn't actually. And this is going to mess up the cutscene flags here, and Johnny will be still in the bathroom when he shouldn't be in the bathroom. He should be knocked out. And that will allow us to skip a codec and a cutscene later. Assuming it all works. Because it can fail if your positioning and movement's off.
Yeah, plus, like, bumping him can also cause problems, as I found out the other day, because I had been doing practice runs, and then, like, you, like, toss him, and then I had bumped him, and he stood straight up, and I'm like, oh, okay. So, it's kind of finicky, but as long as you, like, don't bump into him, and, like, you're kind of fast getting out of there, you'll be okay.
What the hell?
But even
Yeah,
if I do
we'll
fail
know
it,
if
it is kind of funny anyway, even if I do fail it.
You'll know it worked when we exit this room. You'll see that Snake has equipped his gear even though he didn't pick it up. So he'll have his shirt on.
Plus, there's no gun cameras, that's another way to tell. Yep,
Yep.
no gun cameras, and we got our gears, so we're gonna be skipping a cutscene and a codec.
Yeah, so this is the prison skip. There's a harder version of this that involves rolling very precisely onto your gear. It is the hardest trick to do in this game by far.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. We're going
Armory.
to the armory now to pick up those tags we left over. I'm going to be doing some leftover collection here. And there's 3 guards we have to grab. There's a guard by the elevator, and then 2 guards that are going to be next to the PSG-1 room.
Freeze.
Oh,
Help.
okay.
Gotta hug the wall there to make sure we don't get spotted. Then
So getting a very
track this nerd
peculiar...
named David. And then approach these guys carefully to hold them up.
Where's your tag? Give me it. Wait, did you not give me it?
Please.
Oh, it's right there.
What?
I couldn't see it.
Is
That
it?
was weird.
Oh yeah, it's that weird camera angle thing
Take
going
it safe
on
and just
there.
trank that guy. That was very strange. Very weird bounce.
Yeah, the one of the annoying things about running all dog tags is that the tags drop randomly. So you really want to pick them up as they pop out of the body because it's like they when they pop out, they go up and then they go down, and where they go down is random, but they always pop up consistently. So timing your movement there is pretty important. And Tyler, just pick up a SOCOM suppressor because it's right there, and it's going to help us later on in Disc 2 specifically.
Yes.
There's a strat in Canyon that involves using the SOCOM here, but
I'll actually be doing it actually, so you'll actually be able to see it.
there's a lot of different approaches for the Canyon. This is a really hard route actually.
Yeah.
Tyler's going to be luring guards down and then positioning himself to
Come on. There you
hopefully
go.
they get lured.
Oh! Oh no. Okay,
Oh,
we're good.
God.
We're good, we're good,
Oh,
we're good.
whoa, 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 whoa!
We're good.
Are we
fine.
though?
Yeah,
we
yeah,
go?
it's fine, it's fine. Did I
Oh
pick up
yeah,
his tag?
you're gonna be fine.
I believe I did.
Yeah, you picked up his tag. You're
Okay,
good.
okay. All right. A little
So, yeah,
sloppy, but we
he
got
gives a
through.
little distraction shot on the pillar there to turn the guard around with the suppressed SOCOM. That was a bit spooky, but
Yeah, a
we
bit
got
spooky.
through.
All right. Well, thankfully that is the last tags on disc 1, so we got no more to deal with now. Just gonna make our way to the comm tower, where the disc change is gonna be happening quite earlier than you'd think. In the original, it would happen at the blast furnace, but here it's gonna actually be happening once we go to the ascension.
Yeah, it's basically
endless
the
staircase.
halfway point of the run is when the disc change happens.
Yeah. Well, most of the dog tags are in disc 1. Like disc 2 has a couple of them, but not so many. So let me go to the book here to set up the menu for the grenade. I'll be needing that along with chaffs.
Yeah, we won't be picking up any dog tags for, I don't know, like 10 minutes or
Not
so.
till what, blast furnace, right?
No, not until Wolf.
Oh yeah, Wolf 2. Yeah, so yeah, Wolf 2's gonna be the next tag.
Another tag I have to remind
Yeah.
Tyler of, so he doesn't, because it's really like, especially for since all dog tags routing on Extreme specifically is so new. Our muscle memory is just to go to the next room, so that can kind of mess you up on all dog tags. Handkerchief makes the dogs friendly to you, so we don't have to deal with them.
Thankfully. Whoops. It's weird.
And it sets up our menuing for the roof. So.
Yep. So normally I would be wasting these grenades later, but I figure I may as well just do it now because I don't need this many grenades. I just need 1, and then I'm going to be picking up another pack later, and I'll be using 4 out of those 5, so I'm just going to be wasting 4 of them right here while I'm not doing anything. Get ready for the disc change here.
Oh yeah, and this is where the codec and cutscene skip happens.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get a codec and cutscene when you approach the blood on the ground. So doing this saves about 7 seconds over what used to be the optimal strat in the prison.
Okay. Disc 2, Ascension. This one's a
The
bit
disc boss.
weird. Yep.
So
The
this
grenade.
sequence is pretty tricky. Got to be careful. These guards are going to be on our tail, and Tyler just dropped a frag grenade behind him to keep those guards stuck behind him. And he'll be using a combination of M9 shots and stun grenades to deal with the guards as he climbs the tower, and counting his flights of stairs to know what to do next. This is the first area in the game where, since we got a ration from Otacon in the prison, this is the first area where theoretically you may need to use a ration. That's unfortunate.
Think of the inward toss. Probably take a bit more damage.
Yeah, that Tyler tried to do a stun throw from the wall into the middle to knock out the 2 guards on the flat floor, but if you're too close to the rail, the stun grenade will bounce off the rail and be ineffective. It's a tricky throw.
Whoops. Okay, should be fine. It's actually going pretty well, aside from that inward toss.
Yeah, this is fine. It's just that if you take too much damage, folks, the guards behind you that are coming up behind you, they'll eventually start dealing a lot of damage to you.
I think I did it too early was my issue. Should be fine though.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
And just like in the original, when we start the repel sequence, we'll get all our HP back. So that's why you really, really, really don't want to use a ration here. That's the only ration we get for big boss rank. You can only use 1. So And
One more can spawn on the walkway with one of the 3 guards, and if they do spawn, I will be picking it up just in case. But yeah, I think more than one can spawn. Or wait, do I only have one that I can use? I forget.
that's what I mean more that
Do I
you
have one
can only
inventory
use one
slot?
for big boss.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have I don't actually remember.
Yeah,
if
neither
you
do
can
I.
pick up more than one.
I never think about that kind of stuff, except for like marathons. I never really think about it. So here I'm going for something called the girder glitch, which is kind of weird. You kind of have to land in a certain spot, and Snake will just kind of just fall down straight to the girder.
Yeah, we won't be going down all the way down this wall. And fun fact, you don't actually need to use the
The rope.
yeah, you don't have to use the rope. You can do this climb or the descent ropeless, but it's faster to use the rope.
Oh, whoops. Okay, a little jumbled there.
And we gotta trank these 3 guards.
Oh, there is a ration. Okay, I will definitely be grabbing that just in case. We are still on a big boss though, but you know, just in case things go awry, you know, I'd like to not take a continue if possible, so may as well just grab it. As I said before, there's gonna be some grenades there gonna be grabbing, so don't have to worry about those grenades till later on. And we must go down to the bottom here in order to investigate, because we're trying to go down to the bottom, but then we see, oh, this is all destroyed. I guess we're just gonna go up and see what's up there, and long and behold, there's the Hind D from earlier.
Nice thing is though on Twin Snakes that this sequence is shorter because you don't have, like in the original game, you basically go all the way down to the bottom, and then Snake's like, "Damn, I can't take this." I'm like, "Yeah, you can. It's like a 7-foot drop." So they fixed it in this game. It's a little bit more realistic. Like, okay, he's not going to survive that many Tories, and it makes it faster. Again, quality of life changes. So yeah, you'll see that Tyler's rolling up all these stairs. It's a little bit faster than running up them, but you don't want to like roll up the stairs at the base, or else you're going to land on your face.
I just want to show what that looks like one time, just for the comic relief. Like that.
Well, aren't you aren't you going to be doing that on the way down too?
I'll be well, no. Only if I miss the grenade. Only if I miss the grenade. Then I'll be,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I only do that
Okay.
if, yeah, so, because...
I didn't know if you were doing grenade.
Yeah,
or not,
yeah,
so.
I'm doing grenade.
Cool.
I feel confident.
Q.
Guess this last chaff won't be needing it. Then I'm gonna have Stinger out, and then... I'm not gonna equip the ration just yet, because I may not need it, but... Depending on like how this fight goes, I might need the ration, and I'll just manually menu to it there. Because this fight can use one of your rations if you get bad luck, and or if you are too slow shooting him whenever he's actually coming back up. So...
We want to assume that the fight's going to go well rather
Yeah.
than equip it early. We'll just know that if
Start
he
to
starts
bleed.
bleeding,
Yeah,
then
then it's
pull out the
probably a
ration.
little bit spooky. And the trick here is
So
to...
this is the
Oh, sorry.
this is the Hind D, and the trick here is to interrupt Tyler whenever he wants to explain stuff.
Of course.
No, so he's going to be hiding behind the structure to avoid taking shots from behind. The first part of this fight is pretty basic, but it's the second part that's the spooky part. Because when he comes back, the Hind's going to fly very aggressively, and if you're not careful, the Hind can really destroy you. We have to do our shots very quickly here to keep the Hind in check, and so he doesn't shoot a lot of bullets at us. That's the deal. You gotta be quick on your shots, but the radar actually does help here. Typically we wouldn't have the radar on because this is all dog tags. We do have the radar on, so we can watch them both below and in the top right corner. This spot is really good where Tyler's standing because this has a very clear shot of the whole portion of the roof. And so when the hind flies up from the east side of the map, you get a very quick shot off. However, when the hind flies on the opposite side, typically you'll take a shot unless you move. But as long as you're keeping up with your shots and not dilly-dallying, you'll be fine.
Alright, that actually went fairly well. I'm usually pretty not so good at this fight, so that was like one of my better fights that I've had, actually, so... I actually have 12 stingers, which means that I didn't waste a lot of shots.
You didn't really miss any.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Very nice fight.
So because I was so fast, though, I did not take a lot of damage, but there are certain corners where, you know, you will be taking damage most likely, or that there's a pretty good chance, so... Sometimes you'll just take damage just by random chance, but I was fast enough on those shots coming up towards me and that I was not taking any damage. So now we have 2 rations for pretty much no reason, because I was assuming that I may need to use one here and maybe need to use one later.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's
it's fine.
It's for the best that he saves his ration, because there are a couple fights where if things go wrong, having that ration will be a very nice thing. For safety purposes, so we don't take a game over. And specifically, that's the Raven fight and the Metal Gear Rex fight. So Tyler's timing out his grenade throws here to chuck them at just the right time to explode the turrets. If he misses, there's a backup that involves rolling down the stairs right when you go down the first step. And that'll avoid taking damage and kick you down the stairs pretty quickly, but throwing the grenades is a bit faster.
So far so good. Just got one more left. Normally, I'd actually like have like notes with like where I need to be, but I've been grinding this game so heavily in like the past month or two that I've kind of figured it out now. That one's kind of a sketch. We're good. Just gonna waste this last grenade here. And since we had the stinger before, we're gonna go to the elevator and call it up. So now it's working.
Yep. And now we're going to fight the 4 horsemen. On other difficulties where we don't care if we kill them, we actually just drop a C4 and they all die at once, but...
I don't think you can actually kill them anyway.
I don't
like.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way on extreme.
They're really
they take too
beefy.
much damage. But we're gonna be just spinning around and drinking them all, because that is a solution to reveal a lot of the problems in this game.
Yeah.
But even though, you know, you're like, well, that is easier, right? Well, you gotta be quick to make sure you don't get kicked in the face.
Yeah. So. Plus, whenever they like shoot at you, they have the chance to actually like move to the side a little bit. So you have to also be wary of that as well. So sometimes they'll actually like move around. You have to like kind of like wait to see what they do. Now going
up. But that went pretty well.
Yeah. And this fight's probably the most random fight in the game. Oh wow, that was interesting. That was actually slower, me not getting hit there, because doing that roll animation's actually slower, so I was like, huh? That was interesting. Yeah.
We want the turret to actually shoot us there to interrupt the roll, but it's fine. So, the goal here is to hit Wolf in the head, while being conservative with our ammo, because we need the rest of our ammo for Raven after this fight. So this fight is a challenge in part because you need to maintain good tracking of her, ace out your shots properly, and not waste ammo. And we want her not to hide behind trees.
She does that from time to time.
Yep. So ideally you just keep her in a loop of taking headshots.
Not the shoulder.
It's quite easy to accidentally hit her shoulder as well. You just kind of know from practice and by watching how she moves how to hit Wow, that looked like that landed.
I know, and then
That's
she just
ridiculous.
dodged me last second, but luckily I have enough ammo because I did grab the backup ammo from beforehand. So
Yeah, you got plenty. You're good.
pick up her tag.
Yeah,
Don't
pick
forget
up her
hers.
tag. I honestly was about to forget that, so thanks.
No problem.
Oh man.
And for hers, you actually have to grab her by the legs. You cannot grab her by the face, like you can with Mantis. So
Yeah, it's a small little thing. Nice roll.
thanks. This room's kind of tricky. I've lost runs here before just because of the oddities of this room, but I'm gonna try to go for the triple, if you know what I'm talking about, Plow. I'm gonna go for the triple. For the fans.
Oh, he's going for that dirty triple, everyone.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh.
So there's a weird thing that can happen, and it's not just in Twin Snakes, it can happen in MGS2 as well with certain guards. So when they notice you, they'll try to go investigate, but the way the guards are programmed to investigate in this room, they'll just keep on walking in place on a catwalk. So we basically bundle them all together and get that dirty triple. But you have to be very careful when you hold them up, because you could accidentally knock them over and that will kill them, and we don't want to kill anyone. You just want their identity.
We got it.
Oh, here, you got that dirty triple. Boom!
The triple nut punch.
Yeah, you don't actually need to do that, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
it looks fun.
So,
Yeah, it looks funny.
These are the cool strats that Alt Dog Tags adds to the mix. Getting 3 names for the price of 1.
Same thing as the 4 horsemen here, just gonna be standing in place and just using the lock on. Hey. Yeah, the lock on is pretty good in this game. As you can see, I can just quickly move from like person to person and just make a slight adjustment to like aim slightly more up and then to immediately trank them.
Yeah, that is a thing that we use both in Twin Snakes and MGS2, because the lock-on removes a lot of the work from the
I'm about to go to the chest, so it makes things a lot easier. Yikes. Okay. Cool, camera didn't see me, even though that doesn't really matter, but cool.
Turrets are nerfed in this game anyways, like, they take a moment to shoot at you. In MGS1, they'll basically instantaneously start shooting, but they have a bit of a
delay in this game.
Wake up. Yeah, they have a bit of a delay in this game, so.
Since we're at a kind of chill part in the run, just like to thank everyone for watching thus far, and thank you, Big John, for hosting this marathon, and thank you to everyone who's been involved, making this possible.
And thank you all for donating to the cause.
Yeah.
Well, some wonderful generosity to be donating to global giving at this trying time for everyone across the world. We're all in this together, folks. Okay, so we're coming into Vulcan Raven. If you don't do this trick, this fight is actually really, really hard on Extreme, but
yeah,
we're going to be going prone with the rifle out on the east end of this room, and then time our shots out carefully. We don't want to do too much damage too quickly, so we want to pace out our shots. There's something about going prone with the rifle that makes Raven... Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's... there's something about going prone with the rifle out that makes him miss his shot. So that's what we do.
And
Because his gun does a lot of damage on Extreme. It is very dangerous to be on the receiving end of that thing, so it's good that that trick exists and we have that little backup. Don't forget the tag.
yeah. Well, this one actually drops, and like you actually like hear it, so it's kind of hard to miss. But yeah, normally you would just go straight into the next room, which is another tricky room to deal with. But
Yeah,
his tag is
you need
good.
to put on that Go 10 focus.
Go
For,
to- yeah,
the last few rooms of this run are really tough on all
which is
dog
unfortunate.
tags.
It's like leading
Yeah,
up to it, we had a couple hard rooms, but like now it's starting to get like pretty spooky, like right at the end of the run. So we'll try our best though.
Yep. So this is Warehouse North. There's 2 guards here, and the trick is that we want to distract the lower guard, or excuse me, distract the guard coming to investigate while we hold up the lower guard.
Actually got that. Let's go. I'm really bad at this room, by the way, so kind of like holding my breath throughout that whole sequence of events. So wait for him to fall asleep. Start seeing the Z. You can leave the room. But that's not it. There's still more. That was only one hard room. Now we have Rex's lair, which is actually guarded for once. Because in the original, it's guarded by one guy, but now they actually have legitimate security measures in the Twin Snakes.
Yeah, and having the suppressed SOCOM is going to make a huge difference here, because they won't be able to hear our SOCOM shots, and we are going to make ample use of the SOCOM in this room to stun guards. So we got 4 guards to get here. We're only going to pick up 2 to start, and we'll pick up 2 later. Tyler's going to
Give me the tag.
angle his way around and then roll the guard off. He did die, but according to the game, that's an accidental kill, so that doesn't count against our kill count.
For whatever reason. Even though we can see the body, but since we can't interact with it, the game just says, you know what, it's a freebie.
You get a freebie. And then here's the next little tricky part. Tyler's going to be stunning this guard with the SOCOM, pacing out his shots. Not to kill him, but just to hold him in place.
Please, don't.
And then holding him up. It takes 6 shots to kill guards on extreme, so as long as you're not spamming, they're fine. And then he'll be asleep until we have to retrank him.
Yeah, he's the only one that like we actually have to retrank. Everyone else we can just trank once and we'll be fine. But him, he's cutting it close on the time, so we actually have to retrank him. But that'll be later. Now,
Yep.
rope.
Yep, rope.
Cool. Okay, we got it. Okay. Spooky.
Yeah, there's a frame where if you press the catch button on that bad frame, it's the kill frame. It'll just straight up kill you. It's the anti-mash measure, or anti-turbo measure, excuse me. I guess it's also an anti-mash measure, because if you mash, you're probably going to die. It's great. Okay, and now we're going to go back, because there are guards that spawn in the warehouse. So that is why we have this book. It's all coming down to the warehouse.
We grabbed this 5 minutes into the run for right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way back in the guard encounter, we picked up a book, and we're going to drop a book the moment we enter this room. And this is going to keep a guard occupied while we deal with the 3 in the bottom area. So Tyler approaches this bottom left guard, pranks him with the 3rd person. That way, he'll eventually fall asleep. It's one smooth motion when you hold up a guard and try to trink him. Well, that didn't go so well.
I'm just gonna bait him over again. It's fine. It'll be a bit slower, but I just need to bait him over. I just don't want to get a continue.
Don't shoot.
Yeah, we want that guard to go investigate the body, and
I just wasn't
the way
timing
Tyler
well.
the way Tyler does this, it's a bit risky. Since if your timing's a little bit off or your movement's a little bit off, that can happen. We'll just lose interest. But it's all good. We got through. And the important part is we're still on Big Boss phase,
Yes.
which is
Very good. Farthest I've ever been on Big Boss. So,
are you
there's the-
recording this, by the way?
yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Very good.
I should be
I'm
at
just
least.
making sure.
I should be. I had pressed the record button.
Okay.
Let me check. Yes, I am recording this. Yes.
Okay. Very good. Because he hasn't actually gotten a BB run, so if he gets a BB run,
BB.
folks, that's going to be a big deal.
Although we're not out of the woods just yet, we still have to deal with 2 more guards that are kind of tricky to deal with. So
Yep.
after that, then we're
Plus, you
pretty
know,
much done with tricky dog
Pretty
tags, and
much
the rest
in the
is
clear.
And the rest is just execution from the end game, which isn't too bad, but anything can happen. Change the M9 here because we're going to be needing to retrank him, like Lywood said earlier. Then have to bait the guy from downstairs, and
Wait until he comes onto the floor.
yeah, that's
Don't try to hold him up on the stairs.
yeah.
I'm gonna hold him up when he gets onto the floor because he's gonna hear us running over.
Nice. Okay. Part 1 down.
Yeah, this is the Tyler guard. This is the guard that actually gives Tyler the most trouble, ironically. Tyler King.
That was kind of spooky, but we got it. Okay.
All right, nice. So that is all the guards. We have one more tag to get after this, but that is the bulk of the guards, or bulk of the tags. So well done there, Tyler.
Thank you. Okay.
And here's the wonderful feature of this game: 2 pipes that have liquid nitrogen and steam in them. So we don't have to leave this room at all to freeze and heat the key unlike the original, and this saves like 10 minutes. Something nasty like that.
My very first run, I didn't know that actually, and I had to like go back, and it wasn't until later because I like to like picked up this game. I'm like, hey, this game was pretty fun, and then I found out later.
I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, that was yeah. Just ignore that.
Oh man.
Oop. Yeah, that was right on the
That
on
was
the
apparently
pixel.
load zone.
On the pixel. Now we just have to go get the steam, and then we have to listen to 2 codecs. And then go on and fight Rex. And we have 2 rations, so we're actually fairly safe here. Worst case scenario, I don't get Big Boss and I use 2 rations.
I don't see using 2
Yeah.
rations.
Yeah, but that's like the worst case scenario. Like maybe 1 ration if I screw up phase 2. Oh, come on. Thank you. I always do that. Like I'm always like very quick to like grab that rope, and I just like mash it too early, and I always like grab it again, which is kind of strange.
You got to do that little delay,
Yeah.
or otherwise Snake will re-grab the ledge he just dropped from.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like a tiny moment where he's like letting go before he's like really falling.
Mm-hmm.
And now codecs that are awkwardly placed because we're no longer going back and forth.
Yeah,
but this is
I believe if you do the backtrack, they will be in the regular places. I believe so.
Yes. Yeah.
But why would you do that? Unless you're me and you did not look up anything's first speedrunning this game, so come a long way, say the least.
Sure have.
All right.
Okay. And now we enter endgame. We have some bosses to fight, and then we gotta escape.
All right.
I like that roll though. When you roll into
right into the computer room,
the computer
then they
room.
like put you back.
Great.
Like no, you're going too fast. Just be back here.
So right here, Tyler's gonna hold Start and A to get the codec menu open instantaneously, and then he's going to call Otacon before the gas is even filled up in the room.
So it's
This
just
is
a
actually gonna
psychic.
speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I know this is about to happen. Granted, Liquid just told him that you're gonna die, so it's like, I need help, Otacon. I already know I need the help. Okay, and now is Rex. So this fight is easy until it's not, is how I would put it. There's a certain spot Tyler's going to stand at. I don't think that's the spot.
It is. It's a spot.
It is?
It is. It's just I locked
At
onto
first
the eye
I thought
for some
that's
reason.
why you said oh no, and then
No, it was the eye lock on. Yeah.
stupid eye lock on. Oh, nice timing on that shot.
Thank you.
You want to time those shots out so that the moment the iframes are over, the missile connect.
Yeah, that can happen. Lock onto the eye. But it's okay. Readjusted. Just took away the stinger.
It's no good.
very important here, though, that Tyler does not hit another part of Rex. We only want to hit the cockpit where Liquid is.
I'm gonna take
'Cause
my
if
time
you
with the
hit-
first shot, don't worry.
Yeah, be careful with that, because the deal is, if you hit any other part of Rex, the missiles are going to connect to you. If you only hit Liquid, the missiles will always hit the wall behind you. So we're not actually going to move here unless we need to. Nice. And then we just time out our shots just like before. Very nice. You have to adjust your timing because Rex
Whoops.
leans back and forth, so
Went straight to the
their
cockpit.
shot timing. The shot time is going to change depending on whether he's sitting back or sitting forward.
So for this fight, I need to knock him off to get the final dog tag. Something that you don't like normally need to worry about, but I do need to knock him off of Rex at least once, because that's how he drops his dog tag. Because he's somehow carrying it, I guess, and he just drops it. I don't know why, but sure.
Has it in his hair,
Yeah.
bundled up
Bundled up as a little...
with a rubber band.
Yep. Go in the corner. There we go.
Yeah, so Tyler's luring Liquid into the corner to go for a very precise roll that will do bonanza damage, big old bonanza damage.
Knock him off here.
If you roll at just the right angle, basically like every frame of the roll will do damage, and it just completely destroys Liquid. But it's really hard to do. And
I'd like to get in the corner if possible. I'm gonna try to knock him over and see if he can.
This is like the worst spot for Liquid to be in.
Yeah. There we go. You get him.
There we go. Yeah, you gotta be very mindful of like how to position Liquid in this fight, because we don't want to knock him off that ledge any more than we need to.
Okay, he's in that weird phase.
Yeah, this is bad. So this is what we call phase 2.5. He shouldn't be running around aggressive like this, but he can potentially. And you really don't want to take any damage from Liquid. He does a lot of damage, especially his headbutt. That does crazy damage, but that was still a solid fight. Good recovery on Tyler's part. And we got all the tags.
Yep.
Now all that's left is escaping with Big Boss intact. There's only one thing that could ruin Big Boss at this point, is accidentally killing a guard.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, a surveillance camera.
Or just dying to Liquid, which should not happen, but it is a possibility. But I feel confident that I won't die to Liquid. And just kind of sit around here.
Pro gunners.
Yeah.
These pro gunners.
Eventually they're just gonna get tired and throw a grenade, and at that point I'll be like, okay, enough is enough, and just leave. Yep. Into the dead zone right there. Be very careful to not shoot anyone. Just gonna shoot this. You can shoot him a couple times, but you don't really want to be testing your luck with that, and you'll just see one of them. I'm gonna wait for him to actually walk towards the barrel and then shoot it. And even though the barrel explodes right next to them, they're still just gonna get knocked out for some reason.
Yeah, it's a weird justification. Like, oh, you still did 0 kills. Like, okay, whatever.
Oh, no.
Even though that barrel would, I think, probably kill someone.
Yeah, most likely.
Most likely. You see blood come out and then they're knocked out. And then Otacon drives over him. I'm sure he's fine.
Alright, wait for him.
Oh,
And boom.
yep.
That
Alright,
took a while.
that means
Just Liquid.
we didn't kill any guards. All we gotta do is take out Liquid, and time is coming up. Time is when the screen fades to white.
Yep.
When the screen fades to white after we shoot at Liquid, that is when time is. I'll let you call it.
Okay.
So this is not really that hard. It's just a matter of timing your shots. Uh, Ideally, you start shooting at Liquid once he starts aiming at you with the FAMAS. He takes more damage on Extreme, but it's really not that bad. Essentially, there's an invisible HP bar of how many shots Liquid needs to take before the whole sequence here is completed. So just keep on pacing out your shot, timing them with your movement. And eventually he's going to move over to the left side, try to get some cheap shots on him while the transition's happening. And time's coming up.
And time. I'm not good at the escape, and that was kind of spooky, so I kind of held my breath there, but, yeah, so, what was the RTA finish, by the way, just out of curiosity?
I'm not sure since
Oh,
I
you
am
don't have
not
the- oh,
looking
okay.
at the. I don't have the layout. I just have the chat open, but that was a great run. That is also the first that I'm aware of single segment big boss run with all dog tags for Twin Snakes. So this is actually a pretty historic moment for the game.
Yeah, this should
So,
be like a 107 then, and my PB is a 109, so I just PB by 2 minutes.
Yeah,
okay.
he
It wasn't
got,
perfect,
He got
though.
record and the rank
Yeah, that
for
is,
this guy.
And as I said, I am recording, so we don't need to sit through all this, because we actually have to sit through all the credits, and then I'm actually going to be showing on the save file that I did get Big Boss, so feel free to go to the next run if possible, because I am recording, but, just, before we actually do, cut this off, big shout out to Big John, his entire community, all everyone for working for this event, all the speedrunners involved, and, thank you, Plywood, for, helping commentate, because I definitely could not do this by myself, as you can see, he's very knowledgeable of this game, he made a full-on guide for dog tags, so... And if you would like to learn one of these games yourself, please join our public Discord or visit our website at metalgearspeedrunners.com. We have a bunch of resources, a bunch of people for any kind of Metal Gear game that you want to speedrun, Twin Snakes, Metal Gear MSX, Rising, Survive, even. So, thank you guys for watching, do appreciate it. And good luck to the Pokemon runner going forward, and be sure to stick around for the Metal Gear Rising runner as well. I'm going to be looking around for that as well.
And I'm running Rugrats on Sunday.
Yeah, and then Plasma's also going to be playing Sunday doing Rugrats. So you want to see some fast baby action. Some speedy babies.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Wow, woo wee wow. Also, I am on my marathon scene collection, so there's no alerts. So if you do donate money or if you do subscribe, the alert will not show up. But I do appreciate any of that regardless. But yeah, wasn't the prettiest run. There was some stuff that was sloppy, but I mean, it's a good baseline. PB by 2 minutes in marathon, easy peasy. And this should be a big boss, unless something weird happened, which shouldn't have. We're gonna find out here pretty soon though, and then confirm I got all the tags. Gonna make a save, and then reload that save into the dog tag viewer, make sure everything's there.
Allow yourself to be chained to fate, to be ruled by your genes. Humans can choose the type of life they want to live. Snake, whether you've been programmed or not isn't important. The important thing is that you choose life. And then live.
Yeah, this can probably save about 2 more minutes or so. I'm gonna have to watch the run over again and like do my actual like physical splits like while I'm watching the VOD essentially. So that'll be interesting. Just to see like what my golds are and all that. Canyon was pretty sloppy. Ninja was fairly sloppy. Also, is it crazy that I've spent less time in this game, but this is my first big boss ADT? Because in MGS2, I spent a lot more time in MGS2. Crazy. I have no words. Remarkable. Oh, I should have plugged myself. Should have plugged myself at the end, so it'd give me a follow, but I didn't. Oh well. I had plugged the website, which is the most important thing, so that's fine. That was the most important thing to plug his website. I know, like, there's so much going through my head that I just forget, but I mean, it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. It's whatever. As long as we get the website out there, that's more important to me than my own viewership, so that's fine.
I agree completely. It takes a well-balanced individual such as yourself to rule the world. Yes, sir. No, sir. No one knows.
World's fastest all dog tags big boss run title on YouTube. Well, this is the first single segment big boss, because there's a segmented one that was done on Dolphin that we kind of looked at and was like improving upon and like getting ideas from. But so yeah, so this is the first single segment big boss all dog tag run to my knowledge. Wallguy may be able to attest to that from some older runs, I don't know. But yeah. Big boss, there you go. 10711. Hey, the 711. The special. Legendary. Save, yes. Slot B, because my slot A has my GBI stuff on it. You won't believe what this streamer did in only 1 hour and 7 minutes. And just to confirm, because we did get Big Boss. Special, right? Yeah. Dog tag viewer. %. There we go.